What are your quick predictions for 2024? Maybe I'll start with you, Pete.
I think it's interesting to hear Gautam and Lisa talk. That's the emerging opportunity in Australia is the EB space. Australian employers have been pretty spoiled. They haven't had to compete for talent, say over the last 10 or 15 years. Now they're starting to sort of realise that, okay, what more can we do for our employees? It's been really interesting to hear the Pacific Prime flexi opportunities that they offer. That's not really a thing in Australia at the moment. So that's probably going to be one of the things that will be of more interest to employers in Australia, because I think we've got unemployment of 3%, and in most industries we haven't invested in our youth well enough, so we've got a generation missing almost of expertise. And I think the other thing that will be a problem for us in 2024 is what they call the El Nino effect, which is a weather phenomenon, I suppose. Drier, windier conditions. So we have the odd bushfire in Australia, and we're expecting this summer to be as bad as it has been. So my prediction for 2024 is probably we're going to have some natural disasters like fires and cyclones that will cause more pressure on premiums. And so from the client's perspective, they're going to be more concerned for, okay, how do we provide more for our employees, and how do we improve our risk so that we can limit the premiums?
Christina.
Well, I was thinking that, you remember that term called VUCA, that then it was banning. And I was wondering, because that came after the pandemic, and you recall the name VUCA, there was like a vulnerability, uncertainty, and now it's like the world has become so uncertain that I was wondering, okay, what's up to come in 2024 with all these geopolitical situations that we're facing very close to us, and then what our clients are facing with all this inflation and high rates. I think the opportunity for us, it's maybe to try to think ahead. It's, okay, what's going to happen, which we don't know, but how can we be prepared for that? How can we help our clients be prepared for that? How can we help our employees to become more talented for this new role that we are playing now? Because we're not just broking, we are advising. So in this situation that we have all this talent retention issue, our opportunity is to try to be more informed and see where the world is going, to try to be a better advisor on climate change issues, on prediction. One of the trends that I've seen also is that many of the firms are engaging own risk managers, or they are teaming with some externals. And this all has to do to be a little bit more on the prevention of what's going to happen to the clients. So the opportunities for us is to get a better education, because the world is coming to be very, very uncertain. And there are too many bad things going on that we really need to see, okay, what's going to happen with the demographic changes in Europe, for instance. We're aging, so where are the opportunities? Okay, we have to go to a new generation. So many people are coming into Europe, and we have to understand what they need. So I think the opportunity comes from really trying to understand what's going to happen and be prepared for that.
Gautam.
Yeah, I was a bit dazzled by your question. I was like, we're already talking about 2024. I thought I just celebrated New Year's Eve 23 last month. Yeah, things have just moved so fast. But, look, I think for 2024, there's a lot of things to look out for. Firstly, it's going to be, of course, higher rates and having to manage clients with that whole, again, concern about, constrained budgets because of the looming recession and geopolitical issues, which actually leads to my second point, which is that we would have to educate clients even more on why is this happening and why should they not trim down their risks and etc. I think as brokers, it is the responsibility, moral and professional responsibility for each and every one of us in this room and this conference to not only compete based on who can slash the rates and who can provide lower premiums, right? It's about who can give better assurance and who can give better cover, which would actually help to create a better insurance ecosystem for us as professionals and for clients clients, as consumers as well, right? The third thing that comes to my mind is that about value-added proposition, which we have touched on earlier. I've attended a few WBN conferences and some other conferences as well. And this is the first time actually where, I've got asked 5 or 6 times that, hey, apart from better rates, what are the value propositions that you can provide? And apart from the promise of, better service, right? I mean, look, when it comes to better service or what is better, I think there's no such thing as better because we are already unique in what we do. It's really about how we are different and how we are going to stand out to provide something which matches with that client's need. A fourth point is definitely on assimilation. The more and more I look at it, in the past, the property casualties and the employee benefit teams used to really work in the silos, but now I think that there's an increasing need, for them to come together. For example, look at the cyberspace, right? Based on the current trajectory of how things are going, and if they carry on this way, the cybercrime industry might become the 3rd largest industry by the end of 2025, right? You've got a property casualty problem there. If your employees are hit with a cyber attack, whether on their personal devices or on their corporate devices, it can affect their mental health and make them anxious, make them want to isolate themselves, and that becomes an employee benefit problem, right? So how do you do that? How do you tackle that? How do you work with your EB team and your PNC team and your individual lines team to maybe provide some individual solutions to your clients as well? So that assimilation has to take place more and more. The departments have to talk more and more. And one last thing I think for me to add would be the emerging markets, right? We see a shift happening, right? A lot of businesses moving out of, for example, Hong Kong. We see a lot of businesses moving out of certain European countries as well. We see Vietnam and Indonesia and Malaysia emerging as strong alternatives, as manufacturing hubs, as center of excellence hubs, as operation hubs. So I think that would be that shift of business, and insurance hotspots for us to focus on as well. I think that's just really. Look, I could keep talking about this for the next hour, but yeah, this is.
It's Lisa's turn.
Sorry?
It's Lisa's turn.
but Gautam, you have it. I think you have it exactly right. I mean, if you think about what each person has already said, I mean, the issue that we have facing us is technology is moving at the fastest speed it's ever moved. So technology, whether that's medical advancement technology, that's data and the need for data. I mean, a lot of the things that we've said so far are the things that we've got to be on the forefront of for 2024 and beyond. We've got to be thinking 3 moves ahead. And that's really difficult in an environment where we're continued to be pushed for talent. And so we've got to figure out a way to work smarter, not harder, in a lot of ways. How do we start to leverage the technology to make things work better so that we can be more strategic? I also think that organizations are looking for different risk solutions. So you mentioned captives. I think they're looking at ways, where can I retain more of my risk? Where can I be more strategic in really thinking about my total cost of risk? What are the things that I need to be considering in the build out of a program? Because it's just different. I think that procurement of insurance, the days of procurement of insurance and move on are absolutely gone. I think that organizations are very concerned about their bottom line, as they always have been. But understanding this, there's no more generalization in our business. It's all going to be very specific. And I think as you talk about businesses and to understand an organization's risk, you have to understand their business risk, you have to understand their people risk, you have to understand the environment in which they're working in. We've moved from being brokers of insurance to being, part-time attorney, not just playing one on TV, obviously, because we're not attorneys. But you're your financial advisor, you're their business advisor, you're their health and well-being advisor. So we have become really, to me, the central point, the centralization for organizations to start to think about the things that keep them up at night, and we can be the difference makers. And so our ability to coordinate, our ability to help them manage across multiple lines, to think about solutions. It's not about insurance anymore, it's about providing solutions to help them control risk and understand their risk appetite to do so. So I think we're just going to continue to take on more and more role. No, I don't think ChatGPT is going to take our job today or tomorrow, hopefully never. But I do think we've got to figure out how to leverage that so that we're doing things the best that we can do them. We've got to find the efficiencies because we have to be able to be better strategic advisors for our clients. That's what they want. That's what they need. And it's going to be incumbent on us to push them a little bit in terms of starting to think more broadly across their organization. Not because they don't want to, but because they just don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Lisa, I think the one you missed there was psychologist.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Put them back together and send them back out.
Counselor.
Well, briefly, basically what we're seeing is that the trends will continue in the same direction. Kind of on the the property, I mean, we're seeing that the increases will be there. I mean, at least if we continue with the losses happening in the world, and if as soon as the inflation also gives up, well, it will give a little bit of room for better quotes in the market. And basically, we have to continue with it. I mean, helping our clients with the discipline of risk management. I mean, the basic. I mean, in terms of loss mitigation and prevention, loss control, everything that we can do there. I believe that we are hitting in the bottom line and in solving the problem from the bottom. So that's something that we will continue to do and to see, and they're asking for it. Of course, technology continues to be something that will help to manage better the risk. And in terms of the EB, it's kind of related with the management of information, providing better information to contain the losses, and basically we will keep seeing increases. Earlier today we were speaking with Lisa, and she told me, I have been in the hard market forever. I mean, I'm there in the EB side, and that's true, and that won't change. I mean, the technology in medicine is improving and it's costly. So that's something that will continue there. So we have to find ways to mitigate the losses and to be more efficient with our clients.
And I know you want to wrap us up, but the other thing that just hit my mind is that we've got to be back to our professional responsibility. So we really need to be getting engaged earlier on at the university level, because individuals going into risk management, individuals going into insurance, and especially employee benefits, it's not a lot of times people fall into insurance. We've got to make sure that we are bringing up the next level of talent, the next generation to take our roles. We've got to get them involved earlier so that there's someone there when we move on. And I think that's incumbent on us as well as professionals to make sure that we're paying it forward by ensuring that we are giving our time, talent, and treasure to universities out there that are focusing in the risk management and employee benefits space, so that we have that next evolution and that next generation to take what we've done and take it to the next level.
Thank you all for the updates. We have, I can't help myself, you've provided me an update of what you think the 2024 year is going to look like. But if you were to plan a dream vacation in 2024, one word answer, please, from each of you. So you're planning a dream vacation for yourself in 2024. Where do you go? One word answer, if possible. He.
2 words, no technology.
Christina.
People.
Gautam.
The question is dream vacation.
Dream vacation.
I mean, you guys planned it for me, Marrakesh.
There you go. Nice.
Stole my answer.
Lisa.
Well, I was going to say Marrakesh, so he took that. You know what? Wherever I'm with people I love is the dream vacation for me. So it'll be in Marrakesh. It'll be when I'm with my family. That's not a one-word answer.
So we planned your vacation for you. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Gabrielle?
I don't know, maybe sailing somewhere in Europe. I don't know. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm going with you.
Well, thank you all.
Mexico.
Coming to you live from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And we'll see you in San Diego and Marrakesh and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you.